What happens when the person you gave your heart, your trust, and your future to tells you that your love was never enough? Tonight, on Blood Moon Broadcast, we unravel the haunting story of a husband whose world shatters when he learns the truth behind his wife's double life. A tale of love betrayed, vows broken, and a man forced to rebuild from ashes. Buckle up. This isn't just a story. It's a confession. Welcome to Breakup Cheater, where real stories of love, betrayal, and survival come to life. Each tale we share pulls back the curtain on the darkest corners of the human heart, uncovering secrets, heartbreak, and the strength it takes to rise again. If you crave stories that cut deep and stay with you long after they're told, you're in the right place. I'll never forget the way the room fell silent when she said it. I think I'm not made for this kind of life, Daniel. For being settled for you. It was 11:47 p.m., the glow of the bedside lamp casting a pale shadow over her face. Emma sat cross-legged on the bed, hair loose, fingers tracing the rim of her wine glass like a nervous tell. My heart sank, not because of the words themselves, but because of how calm she was when she said them. 6 years of marriage, 2 of dating before that. I thought we were steady. Not perfect, never perfect, but we had routines, laughter, fights that ended in compromise, Sunday mornings tangled in sheets, plans for a family someday. What does that even mean? I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. Emma exhaled, staring at the wine like it held the courage she couldn't summon herself. It means I've been lying to both of us. You think I'm this good wife, this faithful, settled woman, but I've been pretending to be satisfied with something I'm not. A cold weight settled in my gut. Emma, just say it. Her eyes flicked up to meet mine. For the first time in years, they didn't look like home. I've been seeing someone else. A few someones, actually, over the past year. The air in the room thinned until it was barely breathable. My ears rang a dull, high-pitched whine that blocked out the hum of the heater, the ticking clock, everything but the words she had just thrown into my world like a grenade. Seeing. I echoed, my voice hollow. What does that mean exactly? Emma's lips trembled into a sad half-smile, the kind people wear when they think the truth will somehow soften the blow if delivered gently. Sleeping with. Hooking up. It started as curiosity, I guess. I missed the thrill. I slept around my whole 20s, Dan. That was who I was. I thought I could outgrow it. Settle down, be the wife you deserved. But every decent guy just bores me now. You bore me. And I hate myself for it. I stared at her, each word slicing deeper than the last. Not just the confession, the ease with which she disassembled everything we'd built. So what, you married me as an experiment? I asked quietly. To see if normalcy would cure you. No, she said quickly, tears finally pooling. I loved you. Do. But I thought the rest of me would catch up. The days that followed blurred together. Shock, then anger, then a kind of hollow stillness where the anger should have been. I replayed every moment of our life together. The time she canceled a date night because of a late shift. The way she kept her phone face down lately. The sudden new lingerie she claimed was just for fun. She didn't leave immediately. I didn't kick her out either. We floated through that house like two ghosts haunting a memory. Some nights, I'd catch her crying in the kitchen. Other nights, she stayed out late, and I didn't bother asking where. What gnawed at me wasn't just the betrayal. It was the casualness of it. The way she admitted it, like someone confessing they'd outgrown a favorite band. 3 weeks later, we finally sat down at the table. Not as husband and wife, but as something like business partners dissolving a contract. I don't want to hate you, Emma, I said, staring at the untouched tea between us. But I need to understand why. Not just for closure. For my sanity. She nodded, rubbing her temples. I think I was addicted to the chase. To being wanted. In my 20s, that's all I did. Hookups, flings, the high of being desired. When I married you, it was like I buried that part of me alive. At first it was fine, but then the silence got loud. And the decent, steady love you gave me. It felt like a cage. Her honesty was a blade with no handle. I couldn't hold it without bleeding. So what now? You want a divorce? Emma's eyes glistened. I think so. Unless you think we can fix this. I laughed then, sharp, bitter. Fix this? You set fire to our house and you're asking if a coat of paint will help. The divorce was quick. Painfully quick. No children, no shared property besides the condo we sold. Friends were divided, some shocked, others murmuring that they'd always wondered about her. The night before she moved out, Emma knocked on my door. I know you hate me, she said softly. But I hope one day you'll see I didn't do this to destroy you. I did it because I was already destroyed. I looked at her, this woman I once imagined growing old with, and saw someone entirely different. Not a monster. Not even a villain. Just lost. Emma, I said, my voice low. I don't hate you. But I'll never respect you again. And I think that hurts more. Months passed. I rebuilt. Slowly. Therapy helped. So did silence. So did throwing myself into work and reconnecting with people I'd let drift while I was busy trying to keep a sinking marriage afloat. Every now and then, I'd see her name pop up on social media. New city. New job. Same hollow captions about finding herself. Then, one rainy afternoon nearly a year later, I got an email. Subject, I'm sorry. It was Emma. She wrote about how her so-called freedom turned out to be another cage. One with louder music and emptier nights. How the men she chased now didn't even pretend to care. How she thought her 20s would last forever. Only to wake up at 31 realizing the world had moved on while she was still playing at being wild. I know you don't owe me anything, she wrote. But I wanted you to know that you were the only one who ever tried to love me for more than my body. And I destroyed that. I'm so sorry. I read it twice. Then a third time. And I felt nothing like triumph. Just a quiet, exhausted grief for what could have been. I didn't reply. Not out of spite, out of mercy. People like to think betrayal ends with fireworks. Screaming matches, dramatic exits, a sense of righteous closure. But in reality, it ends with silence. With small, ordinary moments you can never go back to. Like the way she used to hum when making coffee. The dent in the couch where she curled up with a book. The ghost of her laughter in the hallway at midnight. You don't rage forever. You just learn to live in the empty space they left behind. A year later, I sat on that same couch, coffee in hand, sunlight spilling through the blinds. I was alone, yes, but not broken. Not anymore. Emma's choices had carved a wound in me I didn't think would ever heal. But wounds close even if the scars stay. And maybe one day when the right person comes along, I'll trace those scars and tell them the story. Not as a warning but as proof that I survived. Because sometimes, surviving is the only kind of victory you get. She thought freedom would taste like champagne and late-night thrills. Instead it tasted like regret. And me. I learned that betrayal doesn't always come with villains. Sometimes it comes with people who simply never learned how to stop searching, until they've lost everything worth finding. Betrayal doesn't always roar in like a storm. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, wearing the face of someone you once called home. What would you do if the person you trusted most became the one who cut the deepest? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story left you thinking, hurting, or reflecting, make sure to subscribe to Breakup Cheater for more tales of truth, heartbreak, and the strength to survive.